Welcome to 5-1. We have beautiful landscapes, amazing arenas, and I'm kidding. You don't care about any of this. You want to skip everything and go really fast, right? Let's cut the shit, shall we? First things first, you gotta get here. How do we do that? Through here. There's two good ways to get here. A dash jump into a jump, and a slam store wall bounce. For the former, dash jump as you land, jump when you land again, and around the peak of your jump do a dash slide to actually get into the room. Simple, easy, effective. For the latter, do a slam store off the left ramp wall, and look around this area, while landing in the middle of the room. Slide, and then jump to wall bounce. If you did this properly, you should land around this area, and then can either dash slide, or just slide into the room after a flick. This is much harder, but noticeably faster, and gets consistent with time. Now for the reason we're in here, the slide clip. There's two sections of back wall here. This dark bit is not where you want to be. This light bit is. Get as close to the right side of the light bit of wall as you can without touching it, and then start spamming slide. You'll probably want to line this up at first, but once you start getting more of a feel for it, you can just rip it off the slide we used to get in. You can also hold weapon wheel to make it easier if you'd like, but do note that due to the timer not slowing down when you hold weapon wheel, it's strictly time loss. Asterisk. If you slam after you clip and get stuck like this, dash, wait, and then slam again. You'll fall straight through. If you slam after you clip and get stuck like this, you're fucked. Just reset. Note that the further left you clip from, the more likely this is to happen. If you're here for secret exit, that's all you need. Just go down there and you're good. If you're here for main exit though, it's time for the weird shit. After you clip, turn to the right and you'll be greeted with this lovely bit of geometry. We want to ultra boost to the checkpoint, but ultra boost sends you up, and since we just came out of a floor, and since the checkpoint we need to get to is much higher than where we're starting at, we have to make sure we don't bonk on the ceiling. Since we want to UB as fast as possible to save time, if you want the fastest UB you can get, you want to look slightly more than 90 degrees to the right, since that's the place with the shortest extending ceiling. I would highly recommend though you just turn at full 90 and slam a little bit longer to avoid the ceiling unless you're going for like 25-second times and below, as hitting this is really not easy and it's super easy to go too far right and get sucked into the wee zone. Although fun fact, bouncing off this piece of geometry can send you downwards into the checkpoint you need for secret exit, which is how the UB I do in my secret exit time works. After you get the UB, you need to hit this checkpoint all the way over here. Now fun fact, this checkpoint sucks. If you open this door, getting this checkpoint becomes completely impossible, and the door checkbox is fucking huge. You basically have to hit the checkpoint from either the side or the back if you want to avoid this massive fucking cube. Although if you try to hit it from the side, you'll notice that the checkpoint hitbox is really skinny. If you deal with all that though, with some good rocket riding, you can restart from checkpoint as soon as you hit it, and you'll be in the arena. Okay, now, arena clears are quite complicated for a lot of reasons, but let's take this one step at a time, starting with wave 1. Here is the trigger for the 2 sentry spawns. Generally you want to hit this as soon as possible, which is usually just done with a dash jump from the checkpoint to either the left or the right. Now, the 2 sentries don't spawn at the exact same time, so it's technically slightly more optimal to go to the left, but it's literal frames of difference, so pick the side that feels comfy. For a first actual clear, after the dash jump, get on the little piece of elevation while charging up the SRS cannon, then once the sentry spawns, fire the cannon and quickly parry it while aiming for the second. Do note that this parry is much earlier than you may expect. If you did that right, you should be able to whiplash to the other sentry while swapping to your shotgun, and then shotgun plus knuckle blaster it to kill it. Do be wary to not accidentally whiplash the cannonball after the parry. Next, a slight variation of that, charge up the slab sharpshooter first, fire when it spawns, making sure you're looking parallel to the wall, and then quickly swap to SRS, do an instant SRS combo, being the same thing from before. Optimally, the second sentry dies to the cannonball, but if it lives, you can recover pretty easily using a whiplash into a shotgun KB, just like the last clear. If you're going for literally anything besides record at the time of this video's creation, those 2 are the only 2 you'll ever need. Although, this wouldn't be the ultimate guide if I didn't mention the health strats now, would it? This is the best wave 1 clear. Starting with a dash jump into throwing a coin not fully, but mostly down, into a coin punch and a slam. You then need to time your next punch, the 2 coin tosses, and the ricochet so that only the third and final coin triggers a split, which if you shoot the coin that you punched, will give the final coin enough power to kill both sentries. If any of the other coins split, it will not work. If you shoot any of the other coins, it will not work. If you do it all properly and perfect though, this can kill both sentries on the first frame using only 3 coins. Now, unless you're going for a 19, I implore you to use one of the other 2 clears, but I'm not your mom, I can't tell you what to do. There's also a lot of other clear possibilities and formerly optimal ones, so feel free to experiment in this room. It's pretty cool. Just be careful of using resources that you might need in Wave 2. As for Wave 2, we start with a sliding CE boost into the arena, swap to blue saws, then shoot a saw on a magnet, which optimally you want to land as far forward as possible without hitting the door, and then shoot an overheat saw blade. All Wave 2 clears start in that same way, it's just what happens in X-Dive areas. Our first variation starts by landing, doing a core nuke, dash, and then a split shot to clean anything up. I would advise aiming your nuke closer to the sentries, as if you end up getting 4 RNG, they could eventually live the split shot, which compared to the street cleaners is incredibly unlikely, but it's not super important. If you'd like to save rail though, we can use everyone's favorite weapon, Jumpstart. After Oversaw, slam immediately, whiplash a soldier, jumpstart it, stick some nails in it, KB it, and then throw a coin to split shot. If all is done well, Conductor plus the split shot should clear everything nicely. There is also my variation, although if you wish to go for it, I would strongly advise down patching to 15B, as on the current patch of the game, 15D, the strat is significantly more inconsistent. If you aren't familiar with how to do this, there's a great guide by Icarus that should help you out. On 15B, however, after Oversaw, jumpstart one of the 2 sentries, swap to Sawdon, do an alt fire, primary fire, and KB combo to kill the sentry, and then immediately throw a coin for a split shot. If you'd like to try this on 15D, before swapping to Sawdon, you need to stick a magnet into the sentry that you'd attach Jumpstart to. If you got lucky and did it right though, this is the fastest railless strat currently known. You may have noticed I said, if you got lucky in that last sentence, and unfortunately yes, this wave has a lot of RNG. The direction and speed the sentries walk in is completely random, and while the faster you CE, the less likely it is to fuck you over, it's still very possible. It's gonna happen. You kinda just have to keep grinding it out. That's the first 2 waves though. Hopefully they weren't too bad. Next up is Wave 3, and welcome to hell. Wave 3 consists of a sentry in the back, 4 strays in the center, 1 on each side and 2 in the center, 4 filth around this pillar, a sentry on the pillar, and a virtue in the very front. Each clear will kill a different set and amount of these using the time between waves. The first of which starts with a saw trap on this platform right after Wave 2, which you generally want to place around the middle to the back to kill the strays more consistently. After shooting a few saws, throw a coin towards the pillar, and charge Slab Piercer for a slab coin on the sentry when it spawns. If you have a bad angle or do it too slow, this might hit one of the filth instead. After the slab coin, swap to overpump and start charging as you move towards the virtue in the front, KB blasting the filth on the way. Whiplash the virtue, overpump it, and then CE boost over to the exit, split shotting on the way. If a sentry is alive, SRS it on your way to the exit. It is possible that the sentry dies from the oversaw from wave 2, but it's completely RNG. After that though, you can exit freely. Next, we have something much faster, where we start with 2 saw traps on both walls for the strays on the sides, and a frozen rocket in the middle for the other 2. After placing the rocket, do a dash jump and throw a coin to one of the sides of the pillar, and then start charging Slab Piercer for a slab coin, this time on the virtue in the front. Then you can nuke the filth from the sentry, KBing the filth if you need a little bit more time, launching you back towards the sentry in the back, where you can SRS combo to kill it. You can also do a split shot while flying back if you'd like, just in case you need a clean step up. I'm much less familiar with this clear, so if you have any specific questions, feel free to ask me on Discord or in the comments. Now for the one that haunted me for so many months. And to even start talking about it, we have to go all the way back to Wave 1, where after clearing it, you have to place oil to clear the 4 filth on spawn, usually with a line that looks something like this, light it, and then 180 to enter Wave 2 with the CE. The faster you set and light the oil, the better, for reasons I will explain in a moment. You then need to clear Wave 2 fast enough so that the oil stays around for Wave 3, and once it's cleared, start the saws and rocket setup for the force trays from the previous clear. This time though, instead of slab coin after the dash jump, you'll need to look down for a dead coin and do a coin punch, which should hit the sentry on the pillar. If you light the oil too late, it's possible for the sentry to die before you get to use it later. If you aren't familiar with dead coining, first of all, don't fucking try this. But here's a message from JMacca explaining it. After the coin punch, briefly tap back to kill your momentum, and then you need to hit a semi-precise slab sharpshooter angle to insta-kill the virtue in the front, which has a mild visual cue in the middle of this skull. You then need to whiplash both the falling coin and the pillar sentry while charging an alt shotgun, pulling yourself to the sentry, whip canceling to get the max boost from the alt shotgun, and then during hit stop, flicking up and shooting rail to hit the coin above you, which if you did everything else right, only has the sentry in the back to target, killing it instantly. We're still not done though, because then you need to actually exit. Depending on where you were looking when the alt shotgun hit stop ended, or where you were looking when it started if you're on 15B, you will get launched differently, and you need to react to which one you get to try your best to freestyle and exit. The best thing to do is to just dive when you land, as both this and this angle both optimally dive, and most others kill your run instantly. If your momentum gets killed, CE boost instantly, and then slideways and hope. This clear is insanely fast, but it's also the hardest arena clear in the game as of recording this, and it's not even close, so good luck if you truly want to try this. You'll need it. God knows I did. That aside though, there's a lot of variation in this room, so I encourage you to mix and match stuff, and maybe make some stuff of your own. This room is quite fun, and I encourage people to try stuff out. And that's everything. Please do keep in mind that some of these clears, this game, and speedrunning as a whole are very difficult, so don't beat yourself up too much on messing them up. I wish all of you the best of luck in your future runs, and I hope all of you have a great rest of your day.